and start to focus on your breath. So long, smooth breaths. And to me, this is like the real time when you can check in how you're doing. You know, as you settle in, notice your heart rate and your breathing and how you are in this moment. And then I want you to, you can have your hands, and it doesn't, like I'm sitting cross-legged, but you can sit in any way that feels good. I want you to start to make circles with your body. So keeping your butt on the ground, making some nice circles, big or small, whatever feels good, but moving the whole torso. And after a few times in one direction, pausing and then going in the other direction. And we get so much information as we're doing this, right? Like, how does the low back feel, the hips, your torso, your shoulders? And then eventually we'll come to a place where we pause and check in again, like, how am I today? And then we'll set our intention. So how do you want to feel at the end of practice today and throughout the day? And just bringing your hands to your heart center, setting that intention, bowing the head to the heart, heart to the earth. And then let's start with some movements and our breath. And so inhaling those arms up in line with your ears, exhaling, taking one hand forward, one hand back. Inhaling up, exhaling to the second side. And you're moving at your own pace with your breath. And let's say it doesn't work to move your shoulders like that, you can just move through your body. So always, always making the practice work for you. And one more time on each side. Nice. And then when you come to a pause, we're going to stretch one leg out. So let's take that right leg out. Welcome. Get yourself set up and join in. And we're going to flex that foot, right? So I want you to just notice when you flex. So let's point and flex it a couple of times and notice how your leg feels. And then we're going to take the hand onto the thigh, inhale up and exhale, slide down. And we're warming up, so we're not necessarily going to our deepest place. Inhale up, exhale down. And again, you're noticing, like, how's that feel in the back of my leg and my hip and my low back? Grab some tennis balls too. And one more time. Nice. Now let's bring that leg in. We're going to switch sides, stretch out the other leg and point and flex that foot. All right. So again, we're going to end with that foot flexed and take the hands onto the thigh. Inhale, body up, exhale, slide down. And right away, like I notice a huge difference in this hip as I'm sliding down. So what do you feel? What do you notice? And one more time, inhale up, exhale down. And then let's bring the bottoms of the feet together. And this is a pose that we do in lots of different ways. So we're going to inhale, let's see, we'll inhale, arms down, knees up, exhale, open up your knees and take your arms up. Moving with your breath. So you're opening and closing the hips and the shoulders. And again, like, we were talking about booster arms and stuff. If it doesn't feel good in your arms, just move through the legs, right? Find a way to make it work for you. Tell me your first name. First name. Didn't I meet you? Yes. Yes, okay. All right, now, next time those knees come out, let's take our hands down to the ground. And not using your hands to push your legs. I want you to press your feet together and reach your knees towards the ground, right? So you're not using your hands, you're using your legs. And for some of us, that's really easy, others not so much. And then we're going to start to bring one knee on top of the other. You're using your hands to help you balance, and you're gonna move side to side. So inhale is gonna be when we're in the center with our knees. Exhale when you come down to the side. And there's no rush. Doesn't matter how close to the floor your knees come, you're just moving with your breath. Actually, this is feeling kind of nice. Now, next time you finish the second side, we're gonna pause in the middle, and hopefully everybody has some tennis balls. We're gonna use them for just a moment. If you're sitting up on something, we're gonna take that out from underneath your butt. You're gonna take those tennis balls and put them, so your butt stays on the ground, and you're gonna lift your leg a little bit and press the tennis ball in, so it's right in front of the base of the pelvis. And we're gonna move, bend your knees and just move. Like I like to go kind of front to back, a little bit side to side, and we're trying to get the connectors of the hamstrings to soften a little bit. So you're not sitting right on those tennis balls, right? And you're gonna keep breathing. And so much of what we're doing to start off is an exploration to see like how the body's feeling today. Now, when you feel like you've had enough of this and you might want to stay a little bit longer, we're gonna take those tennis balls and we're gonna move them to the sides, right? So again, your butt stays on the ground, you're gonna lift up a little bit and press in the tennis ball, do the second side, and then we're gonna do what we were doing earlier, is open up the knees and move side to side into the glutes. And if you've not done this before, it might be a little intense, so you want to pull the tennis balls out a little bit so that like all of your weight and the pressure of the tennis ball is not going into your glute and your hip flexor, right? Because as all of you know, most of us carry a lot of tension in our hips and in our shoulders, right? And you're just gonna keep breathing and feeling into it. Now, if you want to go a little bit deeper, you could come down onto the side, use your elbow and your feet to control your weight into that tennis ball. You're still breathing. We are gonna get up off the floor today, in case you're wondering. I wanna get us warmed up. And let's go to the second side if you're coming down onto your elbow. We get so much information, right? Like what's happening in our body. All right, so eventually we're going to come to a place where we're gonna stop that for now and put the tennis balls in a safe place. And let's make our way onto our hands and knees. And so if, like we're on this hardwood floor, if you like a blanket under your knees, you can add that in. Also, I wanted to say, if you're challenged to be on your knees, you can do what we're doing on your back, okay? And if anybody wants me to model that, just let me know. So here we are, we have our wrists slightly in front of our shoulders, knees slightly behind the hips. And I just want you to swing your hips side to side at first. And if your wrists are sore, you could do this on your elbows as well. Right, so you're just moving those hips side to side, noticing again. Then we're gonna stretch one leg behind us and turn the toes under, and you're reaching your heel towards the ground and maybe pressing away with your hands so that we're getting a nice stretch through the back of that leg. Of course, you're still breathing. And let's switch legs. And again, toes are turned under, so you're maybe on the padded part of the front of the foot, reaching your heel towards the ground. Now, we're going to bring that leg in. We're going to go to our first leg again. We're going to lift up that knee and make some circles. And you'll go a couple of times in one direction, then pause and go a couple of times in the other direction. Again, you can do this on your back, and you can do it on your elbows. So we're gonna bring that knee to the ground, second side, rolling through the hip. And again, a few times in one direction, a few times in the other direction, getting so much information. And then we're gonna step one foot forward and step the other foot. So we're gonna come all the way up. You're gonna find one tennis ball. And Rolf, I think it would be a good idea to roll through your hips a little bit.
What did you do, lift your leg?
Just like, yeah, just like making circles with the, and we're gonna roll the foot on the tennis ball. It's one of those videos where you can, only see me from the shoulders up or down. And just notice, like, you can put a lot of pressure or a little pressure on the tennis ball. And then we'll switch feet. Always checking in. So then we're gonna set the tennis ball off to the side. You might, if you like to use blocks when you do lunges, you might have them towards the front of your mat. And let's come up towards the front of your mat. And feet are about hip width apart. And we're gonna move with our breath. So at first, I just want you to take your arms up to shoulder height. So it's gonna be inhale, heels come up if it's safe and comfortable. Inhale up, exhale down. And then when and if you're ready, you're gonna take those arms up in line with your ears. Inhale up, exhale down. So there's no rush, just moving with your breath. Now the next time that you come to a pause, we're gonna take the weight into the left foot, and the inhale is gonna be leg out to the side, arms up. Inhale up, exhale down, same side. And you're noticing your balance and your breath. One more time. Then we're gonna switch weight into the right foot. Inhale is up, left foot comes out to the side, and the feet are flexed. Moving with your breath. Beautiful. And then you're going to, again, pause for a moment, and now we're going to take one leg back, opposite arm forward. Inhale up, exhale back. And you could, of course, make use of that bar behind you or the wall. We're alternating this time. Inhaling, extending, exhaling, coming back to the center. One more time on each side. And then making your way towards the front of your mat, feet are about hip width apart, hands on your thighs. We're gonna inhale up and exhale, slide down into your forward bend. And just do that a few times with your breath. Knees are soft, inhale is up, exhale is down. Again, noticing all those wonderful feelings in your body as you're moving. Now, next time you come into your forward bend, we're going to stay there, and again, if you'd like to use blocks when you're in a lunge, you'll grab them. We're going to step back with the right foot into a nice deep lunge. And so here, feet are hip width apart. Your front knee is over your ankle, right? So you don't want your knee coming over your foot. That puts a lot of pressure on the knee. All right, now you're going to isometrically pull those legs towards one another and explore the possibility of putting your hands onto your thigh. Breathe and focus. Nice. And you want to make sure that the breath moves continuously. If you start to lose your breath, please stop or slow down what you're doing. We're gonna take those hands down, and you might pop your blocks up a little bit. What we're gonna do is bend and straighten that front leg. So your back leg is going to stay straight. It'll move up and down because we're bending and straightening that front leg. You're still breathing as you move. Now, next time your knee is bent in front, we're gonna step that back foot forward. So transitions are always interesting in yoga and in life. So you bring that back foot forward, we'll step back with your left foot. And again, feet hip width apart, knee over the front ankle, isometrically pulling the legs towards one another, possibly those hands come up onto your thigh. This is to let our body know that we want the weight in our feet, right? It's not about the weight in our hands. Our hands, when we're doing things like this, are totally for balance, okay? So when you're ready, we're gonna come back towards the ground, possibly move those blocks up a notch, and then we'll bend and straighten that front leg. And keep breathing. And as you're moving, noticing if there's too much pressure anywhere, and of course, any discomfort, pain, please don't do it like that. That's not what we're looking for here. At least it's not what I'm looking for any of you. So again, next time that your knee is bent, instead of stepping forward, you're gonna take that left hand onto the ground or onto the block, right hand onto your thigh, belly twist towards that inner thigh. So it's a nice long twist through your torso. And you're using that right hand to assist in the twist. Long, smooth breaths. On an exhale, we're gonna turn back towards the floor. We're gonna step that back foot forward. And one more time, we're gonna step back with your right foot. Find your way into your lunge. We're gonna keep the right hand on the ground, left hand on the thigh, and again, gently twist your belly towards the inner thigh, using that left hand to assist in your twist. Keep breathing. Beautiful. On an exhale, let's turn back towards the ground. We're gonna step that back foot forward. Take your hands onto your thighs. Inhale, halfway up. So here we are, and your knees can be soft, right? We're going to stretch one arm out and turn your head away from that arm. You could also do this with your hand against the wall, right? If you want some support. So inhale, arm comes out, head turns away. Exhale, head to the floor and hand on the thigh, alternating sides. So, and your legs can be straight or bent. It's what feels good in your body, because our focus right now is on the head and shoulders. And of course, you're using your core to help you stay in this position. All right, one more time. As you finish that second side, you'll take your hands onto your thighs and slide on up. When we get up to a standing position, roll through those shoulders. So inhale, shoulders up. Exhale, roll them back. And then we're gonna find our strap. Okay, so, how's everybody doing so far? I'm feeling a little warm already. I'm like, you haven't well, maybe we have worked really hard. I don't know. Okay, so we have our strap. And what I want you to do, we're gonna have the weight on the left foot and take the padded part of the right foot onto the strap. And of course, you can use the wall behind you if you're at home or on a sofa or a chair. Just make sure whatever you put your hand on, it's stable. We're gonna walk that leg up and walk your arm down the strap so your elbow is straight. Okay? Keep breathing. Now, we're not going for the whole enchilada yet, right? What I want you to do is to carefully take your foot out, maybe 6-10 inches, and come back to center. So it's a smaller movement, right? Just a little bit out and then back to center. All right, when you get back to center, you're gonna bring that foot down. Make sure you're breathing. And then we're gonna switch sides. So strap on the padded part of the left foot. And when we're walking that leg up, we wanna walk it straight up. Walk your left hand down the strap, so your elbow's straight. And again, that right hand is used for balance, and we're just gonna open out a little bit and back to center. So we're trying not to pull that femur totally out of its socket, right? You just wanna move a little bit. And it's an interesting exploration, especially for those of us who might be used to taking our leg all the way out to the side. All right, coming back to the center. Let that leg slide on down. We're gonna set the strap down for a moment, but we're still gonna work on balance. I want you to make sure that you're still breathing nice and fully. So here, weight in the left foot, you're gonna bring that right knee up. We're gonna take the right hand on the inside, left arm is used for balance, on the wall or in the air. And now we're gonna open that leg out to the side. Then you're gonna take that hand and take it underneath your thigh or your calf and stretch and bring it in. Different experience. And you're breathing and you're not forcing anything. Beautiful. One more extension, then we're gonna bring the leg in back to the center, bring it down. Before we do our next side, I want you to take your feet a little bit wide and make some big circles with your hips. You're still breathing and noticing how you're feeling, and then we'll step the feet back to hip width apart. And we're gonna bring in the left knee. Again, holding the inside of the knee, using your right arm for balance. You're gonna open that leg out to the side. And you're noticing your breath and how you feel. And then we're going to explore the possibility of extending and bending that leg. And it's possible that the leg doesn't totally straighten, right? And you don't want any pain. So think about it like an experiment, truly an exploration. One more time, and then that knee is going to come back to the center and down. Beautiful. So for the next one, you might use a block in front, you might use the wall behind you. What I want you to do, we're going to have the weight in the right foot, bring your left foot up, and you might take your right hand to the outside of the knee, foot on the block or up in the air. Right arm extends behind you. Breathe and focus. Opposite hand on the leg. And then you're going to think about the possibility of bringing your vision towards that back hand. Slowly move your head. Opposite hand on the leg. Opposite hand on the leg. All right, head back to center, arm back to center, foot comes down to the ground. So I love that pose because it involves so many different things. It doesn't look that hard, but it can be, right? All right, so again, now you're gonna have the weight on the right foot. Your left foot is either going to be on the block or you're gonna have it in the air. You're gonna hold it with the opposite hand. Breathe and focus. Possibly you extend that left arm behind you. And then ever so slowly bringing your vision towards that back hand. Because whenever we turn our head, it changes our center of gravity. So we have to move that head really slowly. And again, whenever you're ready, we're gonna bring that head back to center, the hand, and your foot will come down to the ground. Very nice. Thanks for going on that little excursion with me. And let's make our way towards the front of our mats. And so shake off any thoughts that you might be having about how well you did or how poorly you did with that. And we're going to take the hands onto the thighs, inhale up, exhale, slide down. We're gonna do that a couple of times. Coming back to our center, coming back to the fluid movement of our breath. Now, next time we're in our forward bend, we're going to have your hands on the floor or the block, and we're going to take that right leg behind us so that it's parallel with the floor. So you have 3 points of contact with the floor, your hands and your foot, and you're going to explore the possibility. And remember, anything's possible, right? Your back foot is flexed, like you're pressing it into the wall, so your muscles are engaged. You're going to explore taking your hands off of the floor and extending them out to the sides. Breathe and focus. Then, whenever you're ready, we're going to bring those hands back to the floor. You'll bring your right foot down, and we're going to shift our weight and start to extend the left leg. And just like with everything, it might be totally different. So engage that left leg, flex the foot, and again, explore the possibility of lifting one or both hands off of the ground. And especially if you've never done this before, give yourself, a break and don't try to rush it. So we're gonna take those hands back to the floor. Foot's gonna come down. We're gonna bend our knees a little bit and take your hands onto your thighs, walk yourself a little ways up. So here, ankles are bent, knees are bent, hips are bent. You're using your core here, right? And what I want you to do, you're gonna focus on your breath. So nice big inhale, let your belly get big. Exhale, gently invite your abdominals towards your back body. Long, smooth breaths. Now, we're going to turn this into a moving motion. So you're going to inhale up, exhale, you're going to take one arm back, keep one arm forward as your hips and knees bend. So it's like a moving, twisting chair. Inhale is up, exhale as you twist, moving as deeply as it feels good in your body. No rushing. Making sure your breath is flowing. Beautiful. When we come to the center this time, we're going to bring those hands down to the heart center. And here, I want you to be really aware, you're going to start with your feet hip width apart. We're going to step back with our right foot into a nice deep lunge. And then you're going to pivot that back heel to the floor. All right, so your front toes, your left foot is pointing forward. Your feet are hip width apart. Your back foot's at an angle. Let's see, Brittany and Francesca, I think a little bit longer stance would be helpful. Just a little. Okay, all right. Now let's inhale those arms up. And don't lose the bend in your front knee. And then we're gonna reach that left arm forward, right arm back. Inhale up. Opposite arm. So now, right arm forward, left arm back, and just moving with your breath. Your arms flow with your breath, alternating which arm is in front. And the next time that your left arm is front, we're going to pause for a moment here, turn your palms up towards the sky, and then reach that left arm up, right arm back. Don't lose the bend in your knee. Beautiful. Let's unwind. You're going to take those hands and put them onto your hips. Pivot up onto your back toes. And again, moving very slowly, paying attention. Your weight is going to come into that left foot as you lift your right leg off the ground. Now the body and leg are one. Inhale while we're here. Exhale as you let that leg guide your body forward. Making our way into some form of Virabhadrasana 3. And then we'll inhale up, place that foot on the ground. Keep breathing. All right. And from here, we're going to bring those hands back to the heart center. Pause for a moment, connect with your breath. We're going to make a nice big step back with your left foot. And again, at first you start in this high lunge, pivot that back heel to the ground. And this is actually, I find if my stance is too short here, it's actually harder for me to do it, right? So we're going to take those arms up towards the sky. Again, working with your breath. Inhale is up, exhale. Right arm forward, left arm back. Inhale up, left arm forward, right arm. Again, flowing with the breath, keeping that bend in your front knee. No forcing. Now again, the next time that your right arm is forward, you're going to pause for a moment. Open those palms up towards the sky. Nice big inhale. And then as you exhale, that right arm comes up, overhead. Your left arm is just gently resting on your back leg. You're not putting any pressure there. And when you're ready on an inhale, we're going to unwind, bring those hands onto your hips or wherever it feels good. Pivot up onto your back toes. Connect with your breath in your body. Weight's going to come into that front foot as you inhale and lift up. Again, possibly let that leg be your guide. As you move the leg up, the body comes forward. And then when you're ready to come up, we're going to place that foot on the ground. And inhale, reach those arms up. I like to have my feet a little bit wider here. And we're just going to move through the arms and the torso with your breath. Doing well. All right, so now I want you to take a nice long stance. So most of you are going to have to turn towards the window, and your feet, nice little jump. Your feet are parallel. We're going to take the hands on the outside of the legs. Inhale while we're upright and center. Exhale, you're just going to slide down your leg. Inhale up, and we'll alternate sides. You might start to lift that outside elbow up towards your shoulder as you're breathing. And then you might even start to take that outside arm overhead in line with your ear. And we only add on if it feels good, if it enhances the pose for us. Now, next time you finish the second side, we're going to pause. And I really want your knees to be soft here. And also, I'd say for most of us, let's have a strap. We're going to bring it behind us so that you're holding that strap about shoulder distance apart behind your back body. And yes, you're welcome to clasp your hands if that works for you. But I want to make sure that you get that movement through your shoulder that I'm looking for. So we're going to inhale, body upright. Exhale, bend at the hips, coming to a deep forward bend. And then on your next inhale, we'll release the hands from the low back. And you're going to keep breathing. Beautiful. Keep breathing. Don't overdo it. On an exhale, we're going to bring those hands back to the low back. You're going to put your weight into your feet, a slight bend in the knees. And as you inhale, come on up. Make sure that you're not dizzy. Beautiful. Let's do that one more time. So inhale, body up. Exhale, bend at the hips. Inhale, reach those arms away from the low back. Keep breathing. On an exhale, hands to the low back. And you're gonna bend your knees. You can release that strap to the floor while you're close to the floor. And we're gonna keep the body forward. And what I want you to do is just bend your legs and let your body flow with the bend of your legs. Some of you might like to have blocks where your hands are on the blocks instead of on your legs or on the floor. You're gonna keep moving. We're hoping to stretch the inside of the legs and the hips a little bit. When you feel complete with that, we're gonna pause in the middle. You're gonna engage your legs. Feel your feet on the floor, slight bend in the knees. As you lift your body up, step your feet together. We're gonna make our way down to the ground. And what I'd like you to have close by would be a block and your strap. And I had to tell you that so you didn't all think like we were doing Shavasana yet, because we're almost there, but not yet. Okay, so you're gonna get yourself down on the ground, and let's have our knees bent and your feet a little bit wide, so that there's some space for you to move, right? And you could have a blanket under your butt if it feels like it's being pokey, right? So your hands are gonna be on the front of just below your knees, the front of your shins, and you're gonna let the back round on your exhale. So it's kind of like a seated cat-cow, right? Inhale, press that chest forward, arch your back a little bit, exhale, round. Just moving through the spine without forcing it. And it doesn't matter how deeply you go in a way that it feels, this is meant to feel really good, right? So you want it to feel really good as you're moving. All right, now we're gonna go from here. We're gonna get ourselves onto our back body. So I want you to, again, I talk about transitions because that's when a lot of us get hurt. So you could roll down onto your back if that works for you. You could come down onto your side and slide yourself down onto your back. But you're gonna find a safe way to get yourself onto your back body. And your feet are gonna be about hip width apart. And if it's comfortable for you, you're gonna take that block. Well, actually, before we do that, you have your block close by. We're just gonna tilt through the pelvis. So inhale, tilt your pubic bone up. Exhale, tilt it down. But you're not lifting your butt off the ground, right? So you're just tilting through the pelvis. And you're noticing how those connectors feel as you're moving through that tilt. And then we're gonna pause, and now you're gonna take your block on the lowest level. You're gonna lift up your butt, and you're gonna put the block under your pelvis, so it's not at all on your spine, it's only under your pelvis. And then we're gonna keep the left foot on the ground, and you're gonna bring your right knee in towards your chest. And hold on to it, pull it in towards your body. And if this doesn't work for you, you could have a strap around your knee if your hands don't go there. Now we're gonna slide the hands behind the thigh, and the inhale is gonna be straighten the leg, flex the foot, reach it up towards the sky. Exhale, take that knee in towards your chest. Inhale, extend the leg, let your thigh bone come away from your body. Exhale, bring it in towards your chest. If the block is really pokey in your low back, either readjust it or get rid of it. Now the next time that your knee is bent, we're gonna take that left leg and we're gonna lift it off the ground and straighten it and flex it. So now your left leg is hovering over the ground. It's flexed, you're holding on to your right knee and you're breathing. now you're going to, again, explore keeping that right foot flexed. You're gonna reach your left hand towards your right ankle and take that lower leg across the body. So it's kind of like a prone, a laying down pigeon pose or pigeon trap pose. You're gonna keep breathing. And you might wonder, I have the block here because what happens for me, I get a nice stretch in the front of the hip flexor and the psoas by keeping the pelvis lifted. But for some of you, that might not be comfortable. All right, now we're gonna carefully bend that left knee and put the foot on the ground, and then carefully release your left foot to the ground. And then we're gonna take that left knee in. And you're gonna hold that left knee in towards your body, again with your hands or the strap. And you're still breathing and noticing all the wonderful sensations in your body. We're gonna take the hands on the back of the thigh. Inhale, press that foot up towards the ceiling. Exhale, take the knee in towards your chest, and make sure you let your thigh come away from your body on the inhale. Thigh moves away, and so you might have to loosen the grip of your hands to get that thigh away from your body. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, bend. Now again, once that left knee is bent, we're gonna hold on to it and extend the right leg, flex the foot, let it hover over the ground. So lift that heel up off the ground if you can. Keep breathing. And then when and if you're ready, you're gonna have that left foot flexed. You're gonna reach for the flexed left foot with your right hand and bring it across the body. Long, smooth breaths, no forcing. And again, when you start to feel complete, we're gonna bend the right knee and put that foot on the ground and then release your left foot to the ground. We're gonna take the block out from under your low back, place it on the ground. And now here we are, we have our feet about hip width apart, our arms are down at the sides, we're relaxed through the head and the shoulders. The inhale, you're gonna press down with your feet, lift up with your hips, take your left arm up and turn your head away from the arm. Exhale, head back to center, hips come down, arm comes down. So it's a multi-step move. Inhale, hips come up. Now the right arm, head turns away from the arm. Exhale, arm down, head center, hips to the ground. So inhale, hips come up. Arm comes up, head turns away from the arm. Exhale, arm down, head to the center, hips down. Looks lovely. You're going to keep moving with your breath. Now, next time you finish your second side, you're going to pause for a moment. And then let's bring the knees in towards your chest. And you might hug them in, you might move in a circular motion, you might move side to side. And then we're going to extend the legs up, so now your legs are perpendicular to the ground, your hands are on your thighs. And a couple of ways you can do this one. So inhale is going to be when your legs are perpendicular and away from your body. Exhale, legs towards your body. Inhale, legs back to perpendicular. Other options, some of you might lift your upper body up as your legs come in. Right, so you're going to choose just moving your hands and your legs or moving your upper body and the legs. Inhale is when you're in a more neutral position. Exhale when you come in. Don't force anything. Do what works for your body. And when you feel like you've had enough of that, you're going to pause And you're gonna ask yourself if there's anything else that your body needs before you start to move yourself into Shavasana, right? So do you need a little twist? Do you need a supported pose for a few moments? Do you need to stretch a particular part of the body? And when you're complete with whatever else you're doing, you'll make your way into Shavasana. So remember, in Shavasana, the idea is that you are absolutely comfortable so that your body can settle into the floor. Use props however you need them to feel more comfortable. Feel like you might get cold, you might put on socks, shirt, cover yourself with a blanket. Ever so gently starting to bring your awareness to your breath, to your body, eventually asking yourself how you might like to move to gently reawaken. And you might make your way into a seated position. Some of you might like to stay on the ground a little bit longer. Choose what's appropriate for you. You do a breathing practice, and so because all of us have different lung capacities, I'm gonna like talk you through it, and then you do what's appropriate for you. And never when we're doing a breathing practice do you want yourself to feel agitated or anything like that. So if that happens, just breathe naturally and don't try to adjust your breath. So you're gonna place one hand on your, just below your rib cage, on your diaphragm, and we're gonna breathe in short, we're gonna do a prana inhale breath, right? So you're gonna breathe in a little bit, pause, breathe in a little bit more, pause, breathe in a little bit more, pause, and then breathe out. So how long your breath in and pauses are gonna be up to you. And you're gonna do it in a way that feels good to you, that you're still getting a full breath. So I don't want you to feel like at the end of the third pause that you still haven't breathed in. So we're going to try it. So breathe out completely. And this is so that you can feel what's happening in your body as you're breathing. That's why we have our hand here. And then whenever you're ready, you're going to start to inhale, pause, inhale a little bit more, pause, inhale just a smidge more, pause, and then exhale completely. No rush to exhale. You want to release all the air that you have in your lungs. And whenever you're ready, inhale, pause, inhale, pause, inhale, pause, and exhale. In your own time, inhale, pause, inhale, pause, inhale, completely, pause, and exhale. Do 2 more breaths on your own in a way that's appropriate for you. Whenever you've completed that breath, you can release your hands and allow your eyes to be closed for just a moment. Noticing how you feel mind, body, and spirit. We'll close with the 3 planetary healing sounds. So inhaling your arms up towards the sky, exhaling the sound Q to the heart. You. inhaling, scooping up from the earth the sound of Om. Thank you so much for joining me today. Namaste.